Welcome to the Empowered Life. I am your friend, Ern Inyon. This podcast aims to inspire you to create the life that you want to live. If you are not yet a subscriber, be sure to subscribe and get notified when a new episode is posted. Now let's go on with the show. Hi everyone. We are approaching the end of February and I thought of giving one more episode on love. I have a lot of friends who are single and wanting to have a partner. There are many theories why. One theory is that there are fewer men than women, and out of the few, many are not the marrying material. I guess what marrying material means is that many are not mature enough to take on responsibility as head of the family. Now, based on statistics in 2021, sex ratio here in the Philippines is actually almost even, with male actually gaining a slight lead with 430,000 more than female. So there you go. So there are actually more male than female here in the Philippines. Another theory that I heard is hindi lang siniswerte or no luck in meeting the right partner. Luck is not something that just happens to you. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. One more theory that I heard is I'm afraid to fall in love. Well, heartbreak can be traumatic and I understand why many people don't give themselves another chance of loving again. Okay, enough with the theories. So here are my 5 steps in finding your life partner. So this is all for the singles out there. The first step is don't look for the ideal person. Be the ideal person. I believe that you don't attract who you want, you attract who you are. Case in point, just look around, just look at the people around you. Aren't they like you? Work on yourself first. Be clear with who you are. Listen to my earlier episodes, especially the first one and the episode on love and relationship. For me, working on yourself first is non-negotiable. You can do it alone or with someone who doesn't limit you. Remember, what you give is what you have. If you jump into having a relationship with someone without having a strong relationship with yourself first, you will end up assuming the role of a needy. As I mentioned in my previous episodes, love is what happens within you. So work on your fears and apprehensions as well as your dreams and aspirations. If you are a male and would want to have your own family in the future, you have to build your leadership skills. Know how to take on responsibility and everything. Know what it takes to be a great husband and a father. If you are a female, know what it entails how to be a great wife and a mother. I had relationships before when I was in high school and college. Of course, whatever happened, and those relationships made an impact on my life. However, if you ask me if I would recommend it, having a girlfriend or boyfriend at a young age, I would say, well, it depends. Bordering on no. When you are in high school and college, you are in a stage that you need to explore what your passion is. I say it depends because if your girlfriend or boyfriend limits your growth and just wanting to have a good time, then find a way to get out from that relationship. You're just wasting your time and the risk of ruining your life is high. It depends on how you were nurtured by your parents also. A teenager from a broken family would look for someone to be her confidant. If a young child was brought up well and felt the love from her parents, she would have less time for intimate relationships. Don't succumb to peer pressure. If your friends have girlfriends, boyfriends, let them live their lives and don't let it dictate what you need to do. We see a lot of teenage pregnancies around the world. Don't let this happen to you. Working on yourself takes time. Make this your priority in the first 20 years of your life. The second step is list down your criteria of virtues. Working on yourself doesn't stop. You know, up to now, I'm still working on myself. But once you have a good grasp on who you are, you have to list down the attributes of your life partner. So, for example, the guy should be responsible, hardworking, loving, kind, and generous. Focus on virtues, not just physical qualities like tall, chinito, and handsome. I had a friend once who shared her story to me. She told me that she's been dating a guy for some months now, and but the guy is not saying something. She felt that they are in a mutual understanding relationship. So one evening, the guy just suddenly kissed her in the lips without asking her permission. It froze her for a minute and didn't really know what to do. So I asked her that by what the guy did, what characteristic do you think he manifested? So she thought for a while, then she told me that, well, she took advantage of me. She was not courageous enough to tell me what he feels. Then I told her, so do you want to have a relationship with a guy who takes advantage of you? Who is not courageous enough to tell his feelings? Friends, it is always easy to say that I am honest, I am a person of integrity, I am generous, I am kind. Action speaks louder than words. You have to see honesty in action, integrity in action, generosity in action. Most of the time, you will see inconsistencies in people. There may be flashes of honesty most of the time, but there are instances that she may be dishonest. Then you have to decide how much you can tolerate. For me, the most important virtue is courage. Courage to try. As long as you see the person is trying, it is just a matter of time he will get what he is striving for. My wife and I are two imperfect people. In the earlier stage of our relationship, we both made mistakes. I was very inconsistent myself. I guess the answer to how much you can tolerate the inconsistency or mistake lies if you can picture your future with her. Are you willing to journey life with her? The third step is to go to places where you can find that person. Now look at the criteria that you made and think, where would you find such person? If you're looking for somebody who is patient, cares for people, loving and kind, I suggest you start dating a therapist or an early childhood educator. I have been working with therapists for 20 years and I can tell you these traits are all common to them. They are very good listeners also. They are trained to care for others. If you're looking for somebody who is generous, responsible, and kind, volunteer in an orphanage or home for the aged ministries. A friend of mine likes adventure and spontaneity. Well, he met her husband when she enrolled in a scuba diving class. I used to work as an auditor and as an accountant. You know, the life of an accountant doesn't give you much opportunities to meet other people except the ones in the office. A normal working day would be sitting in front of a computer crunching numbers from 8 to 5 p.m. Many of my colleagues, including me, badly need to improve on our social skills. Many of my colleagues before didn't go out a lot, as in zero social life. So we have to increase our chances of meeting our life partner. A couple of years before I bumped into my future wife in Greenbelt and started dating, my sister-in-law, who was then my classmate in advertising, set us up on a date and ate lunch at KFC. Well, I can't say it was a date because we just ate lunch and nothing followed. Honestly, there was no spark during that time. During that time, I was just busy working on myself, and I guess she was as well. She just she just started working and was busy looking after Chi. But when we saw each other after 2 years, things were different. She was taking up masters and I was about to enter a master's program. We were both ready to have a relationship. The fourth step, the fourth step is don't settle. Have faith that you will find your life partner. Don't settle. If you settle, your partner doesn't deserve that, and neither you. In Tagalog, ayaw mong tsinatsagaan ka lang, and you don't want to do that to anybody. If you don't see your future with that guy, don't commit to a relationship. If you settle, you are closing your options as well. There are people who might find you attractive and are available. So if you make yourself unavailable by settling in a relationship, you missed your chance of having a better relationship. Settling is a product of a scarcity mindset. Increase your circle by involving yourself in other communities, just to continue loving and believe that love will find a way. The fifth and last step is tie the knot. If you are in a relationship with someone who fits your criteria, then have the courage to propose and ask her hand for marriage. Otherwise, what for? I know some men who keep their girlfriends waiting and don't have plans of marrying them. If you do not have plans of getting married and you know that your girlfriend wants to start a family, be fair to your girlfriend. Your girlfriend deserves a better guy than you. Don't keep her waiting and be honest. Set her free and go back to number one. Work on yourself and set your priorities straight. If you're not sure of her, then you are settling. A friend of my wife had a boyfriend and they were a couple since they were high school. They were in a relationship for 15 years and they are now in their 30s. So I asked the guy, "What's your plan?" You know, girls have a biological clock. You need to be aware of it and respect it. If you do not have plans of marrying her, set her free. Yeah, be fair. I want to mention this also, that many people make financial stability a requirement for them to get married. This is a tough requirement, and I believe this is why many people or many men keep their girlfriends waiting. You know, when I married my wife, I only had very little money in the bank. I sold my car to marry my wife. So essentially I was broke when I got married. But you see, early on, I can see myself with her whether I had something or I had nothing. Life is a journey, and you are getting married because you want to journey life together. Not because you have something, but because you have each other. When the pandemic started, I knew that we can get out of this crisis because we started with nothing. As long as we stay together, we will find a way. Success is sweeter that way. Don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying the importance of money. Financial stability is important in marriage, especially when you have kids. But you don't want it to be the reason why your wife married you. So there you have it, the 5 steps in finding your life partner. Of course, life has no guarantee that it will happen according to plan. After exhausting all means, you may not find what you're looking for. But I am sure along the way you will meet people that will make your journey worthwhile. And it is better to remain single than to be stuck with a horrible person. If you are single, reflect on these 5 steps. If you are in a relationship or you are already married, work with your partner on how you can improve your life together.
Thank you so much for listening, friends. Please rate and review this podcast and share it to your friends. Until next time, blessings always.